Hello friends, and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In this video we will talk about the effects of Saturn in the sign of Capricorn for a Pisces Ascendant horoscope. So when Pisces, which is the 12th sign, is rising in the horoscope, Capricorn falls in the 11th house. So this video is also about Saturn in Capricorn in 11th house of the horoscope. So we have a horoscope in which the Pisces sign, the 12th sign or the last sign of the zodiac, is rising, and we are talking about Saturn. Now Saturn for Pisces is a very difficult planet to interpret because Saturn owns two signs: Aquarius, the 11th sign, and Capricorn, the 10th sign. And now these two signs fall in the 11th and 12th house respectively. Now these two houses are very opposite in nature to each other. 11th house is usually associated with all of your gains, and 12th house is associated with all of your losses or expenses. So you see, the nature of these two houses is very diametric to each other. So blending these two influences is always a great challenge when trying to interpret Saturn for a Pisces ascendant. And we'll try to do exactly that and understand how these two different houses or ownership of these two different houses impact Saturn and what kind of result it can give. And before we start, let's just mark out all the houses this Saturn is going to affect. So obviously the Capricorn and Aquarius signs, which fall in the 11th and 12th house, will be affected by this placement of Saturn. Now Saturn from its position has some special aspects. According to Vedic astrology, Saturn aspects third house, and that third house aspect will be on the ascendant or lagna itself, the all important reference point in the horoscope. Saturn aspects the 7th house from itself, which will be the 5th house, and then Saturn also aspects the 10th house from its position, which in this case will be the mysterious 8th house. So you see, there are so many houses which this one Saturn will have direct implications on. So let's start with our analysis of these houses one by one. So let's start with the impact of this Saturn on the first house, because there is a direct aspect of Saturn, the third aspect, on the ascendant. And ascendant, as you know, is one of the most critical point in analysis of a horoscope. Anything which impacts the ascendant affects pretty much your entire life, because first house shows your physical self as well as mental self, because first house has head and head contains your brain. So your physical and mental inclination is very much governed by the ascendant. Now Pisces as an ascendant is generally considered one of the soft ascendants. It is ruled by Jupiter, it is a watery sign, and generally known for its imagination, a lot of imaginative capacity. Pisces can imagine what nobody else in the world can. So generally speaking, Pisces is not known to be physically strong as some of the other ascendants. However, the placement of this Saturn here, now Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn is an earthy sign. It represents physical gains. In fact, it is the highest or peak of physical activities or peak of physical gains. It is the last sign in the earth trine. So Saturn in this place feels very good and very strong. And that Saturn's aspect, what is Saturn? Saturn is hard work. Saturn is slow, steady, and always persevering. and these are the qualities which generally not associated with a Pisces ascendant. So in that sense, this is a great position, because what it does is it adds a lot of physical strength to already strong mental capacity of Pisces ascendant. So I'm just going to repeat that, Pisces by default, by the very nature of the Pisces sign and its ascendant lord Jupiter, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, that Pisces ascendant makes for a very mentally fertile and imaginative personality, and this Saturn adds a lot of physical vigor, a lot of physical strength, capability to do hard work, which are much needed and lacking by default in Pisces. So this Sun actually gives a holistic personality to a Pisces ascendant. Now, because of this Saturn, the native will gain good physical strength and as well as a lot of perseverance. They would not give up. Generally, a Pisces ascendant would not have a lot of perseverance, but this Saturn's aspect will impart those all important qualities. Now, about physical strength, kids with this placement might have a tendency to fall sick, and that tendency remains in the childhood or early life, because the reason is Saturn, however good it is a malefic planet, and it is a very strong malefic right here. So what happens is, when you are growing up, your body might have a tendency to get sick, get seasonal diseases very easily, but as the person grows, the physical strength increases with age. See, Saturn is the primary karaka of age. Saturn is not the primary karaka of childhood, it is the primary karaka of the old age. So as the age increases, the physical strength of the person will increase, and they will be able to have good physical strength even in the old age, because Saturn is the primary karaka of the old age. So we saw that from the physical point of view, physical strength point of view, this is a wonderful placement. Also from the mental inclination, the Saturn's aspect adds a lot of firmness in their mind. See, Pisces is imaginative by nature, but they are not firm on their decision. This aspect of Saturn will give that tendency to stick to a decision, to carry it through to the end, which is much needed for success in life. So from both physical as well as mental perspective, the aspect of Saturn adds a lot of vigor in the personality. Now let's quickly talk about the 11th house. Now 11th house in today's world is probably one of the most important houses, because it is associated with fulfillment of desires, all kind of desires. It is the last sign of desire trine or Kama Trikon. So a good placement of this house or good planets here can indicate fulfillment of all kind of desires, and Saturn, its own house, is actually a big blessing for an individual chart. What it shows is, it does indicate gains from multiple type of businesses. People with this placement can have more than one type of business interest, more than one type of professional interest, and they will be able to attain not just monetary benefit, but also good name and fame in society. See, Saturn is well placed in its own sign here. They will have large friend circle, large social circle. It is again Saturn. That social circle will stick. What I mean is, they will have long lasting friendship. Saturn doesn't give anything which is short lived. especially in the sign of Capricorn, it gives long lasting relationships. So you will not only have a large social circle, but that social circle will remain intact for a long period of time and will be beneficial, mutually beneficial for yourself as well as for your friends. See, and what adds to that is that aspect of Saturn in the 5th house. 5th house shows your skills and education. So your friends will be well educated, good friends. It is something which shows good company. Your friends will be either of this similar nature or people who are really hardworking. Saturn is a hardworking planet and well educated at the same time because of the aspect on the 5th house. And since Sun or Saturn is placed adversely from the 12th house, see, from the 12th house of expenses, this Saturn is placed one position behind, which means it is placed in the 12th from 12th. So this Saturn makes you spend money very wisely. You will spend money, you will have fun because the Lord of 12th is in its own sign, but you will not be a profligate. Even your company, your friends, they will also be conservative in their approach and not do anything recklessly. So what is said, that when you have such a placement of Saturn, it basically protects you lifelong. You cannot go into a extremely bad condition or in a pit or in an abyss or in situations like bankruptcy or things like that, because this Saturn gives you good mental stability and at the same time a wise nature when it comes to spending money. Now there are many other great things which this Saturn imparts and we can talk about that all along, but I want to cover one important aspect related to its effect on family first. So the Saturn from the 11th house has a direct aspect on the 5th, and 5th among other things shows your children, and thus by extension it shows your own family which you build in your life. So what the Saturn does generally is, see, this Saturn is a malefic planet which we discussed in the beginning, and that when aspect the 5th house, especially Saturn, which is the slowest planet in Vedic astrology, this gives definitely delay in getting kids. And the other thing is, the Lord of the 5th house is Cancer sign here, and the Lord of this house is Moon. Now Moon and Saturn are not friends, in fact they are enemy of each other. So the actual relationship is like Saturn considered Moon as enemy, Moon is neutral towards Saturn, but overall the relationship is not friendly. So what it does is, it gives a tendency to people to worry a lot about their kids. These people, especially Pisces Ascendant, Jupiter as the Ascendant Lord, anyways they are very imaginative and caring, especially towards kids, and this Saturn's aspect tend to give them a tendency to keep on worrying about the future of their kids, the health of their kids, the education of their kids, and so on. Now the actual or complete analysis of the 5th house or kids will definitely be dependent upon the 5th house, especially the position of Moon and Jupiter, because Moon is the Lord of the 5th house and Jupiter is the Kark of the kids. However, just because of this Saturn and its aspect on a sign which is not friendly to it, definitely causes worry about kids. Most of the time this worry would be undue. They would be simply thinking a lot about well-being of their family. That's what causes it. But this is a common occurrence which happens because of this Saturn's aspect on the 5th house. So my friends, I'm going to stop here. As I said, there are so many other things which can be discussed and talked about. So please do put in your comments if there is any other area of life which you want me to specifically cover. I thank you for watching this video so far. I hope you liked it, and please do hit the subscribe and like button to continue to receive more such videos. Thanks again for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.